disabled. What? Sending data.
Says it's working, except for Team Skill Series, which is fine.
Yeah. And we are streaming on Facebook, Twitch,
Chat.
YouTube. Uh-oh, phone's going crazy. Shut this stuff off. Hello. All right, we'll do the usual. Wait till we get a handful of people. We'll officially start it off. If you are just joining us, hit us up in the chat as well. We'll take some topics of discussion from there tonight. I wonder if I can just move this over here. Perfect. Restream. We got a little bit more color.
Oh, thanks, Adam. Just got it not too long ago. Oh, right. Austin liked my jacket too.
All right, we got a bunch of people ready to go tonight. So we'll go ahead and get it started, and we will see you back here in just a second.
Warning. The following podcast episode is a couple of the same old jerk-offs talking about happenings in the axe-throwing world. It is meant to be informative, but can sometimes be downright boring. If you get bored, that's okay. You can stop watching, because someone else might find this informative. The opinions discussed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers or any axe-throwing organization. We hope you enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Sit Your Axe Down. I'm Kyle. Got Lucas over there in his brand new plaid jacket.
I would have rode the bike in here, but it's still disassembled.
It is still disassembled, so you didn't find a buyer yet?
Not yet.
No.
I didn't try super hard. I put it on there. I had a couple people message me, and then I kind of gave up.
Pop that thing up in your background and see if anybody on the episode wants to take it.
Unless they're local, I'm definitely not shipping it. You'll have to drive here.
Yeah, that's never not like somebody wouldn't drive past Murfreesboro on the way to a tournament at some point. So where'd you get that jacket again? I mean, I know where you got the jacket. There we go. A little higher.
Master of Axes tournament 2020.
Masters of Axes. There we go.
This is the 2024 one because it was rescheduled.
That's right. So there'll be another one in 2025.
Correct.
Maybe you can claim a second plaid jacket at some point.
Maybe. We'll see.
At least it'll be played on the same rules.
That's true.
All right, we got a handful of people watching. That's good.
All right. Let me find.
Tonight we're going to chat about a handful of recaps from, I guess, first two large-scale tournaments this year. The first WATL Regional, that was Masters of the Axis in Augusta. We'll talk about our first tournament of the year, ThrowPro's first tournament of the year that was in Cleveland this past weekend. We'll have a couple guests join us, and we'll talk about upcoming tournaments as well, and then whatever you guys want to talk about. So hit us up in the chat. We know that you're watching because we can see that you're watching. So hit us up. Let us know what to talk about later in the show. But to start us off, talk about Masters of Axes. Do we want to chat about it first, or bring our guest in now? Or?
You can invite him since he was there so he can have some feedback as well.
All right, let me jump in here real quick and send out the invite here real quick. Ding. All right. I'm going to try to do this as seamless as possible. When we get
I have faith in you.
when we get him in, I got to push a button, and then as quickly as I can go back to another button.
Just hit all the buttons.
Only got one mouse. Well, I guess one is with the mouse, one is with my hand.
I have faith.
Wonder if he'll have it. Have to download it on his phone or download it on whatever he's on.
I told him that's what it was going to be. Told him it was going to be Zoom, so he had time to like practice up. I didn't want anybody to pull a Tommy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. I'm gonna do this as quickly as I can. We're
I
gonna
have
hit
faith.
that button. We're gonna hit this button, and we're gonna. Oh, it didn't do it as quickly as I want. But welcome to the show, Austin Shepard.
Yeah, why not? Plenty of space to land. He's gonna.
Hey there, Austin. Hey, there we go.
Just getting all this figured out.
Nah, you're good.
You're crushing it. You made it so much farther than Tommy did. You at least got on here.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, we got a league going on right now, so I apologize if there's any bell ringing in the background, some cheers,
Oh, that's okay. That's
There
okay.
should be
We
plenty
appreciate
this
you
year
joining
compared
us.
to last year.
What's that?
Wearing your bell out with the 2025 rules.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's nice to see these guys so excited again. It's and they're happy to go outside. So that's definitely a positive outlook on it. They're moving around. I even lost to one of our amateurs like week 1, which he threw his best game ever. I couldn't fault him on it. So yeah, it's exciting to see.
Yeah. All right. Well, for those that don't know, Austin is the man behind Hatchets for Heroes. And so I know they've got some stuff coming up with Hatchets for Heroes, as well as a big tournament at his venue. So just wanted to have Austin on, let him kind of tell us a little bit about that first, and then we'll talk about Masters of Axes after he's done kind of telling us a little bit about what's happening with Hatchets for Heroes.
Hey, and once again, I appreciate you guys for having me on for this. It's so I'd always worked in a veteran status after getting out of the Army, and whether it was commander of a Legion, honor guard with a VFW, whatever the case. And then when I came into this space, I said, hey, there's a lot of veterans, there's a lot of first responders, police officers, etc., that throw. And I know myself, I was missing the camaraderie from being in service, and I found it in the Axe community. I mean, you guys know better than anybody. When you show up to a tournament, it's hugs and cheers all around. And I think we start losing that in life, and so that's where this has really been a great outlet and opportunity for me to grow again. So we felt filling a gap with Hatchets for Heroes was the choice to do, and yeah, I think we've sent out like $3,200 in sponsorships in the past year and a half, and we've given out 6 axes, two sets of knives, and just still trying to honor those that are already in the sport, bring those that aren't into the space, and to give them that pro social outlet. So right now, obviously, our big push is getting everybody sponsored to Worlds that is applied. So we've had many requests, and we're going to try to do something for all of them. We've got some upcoming raffles coming out. I've got a Bullmag Rain Axe that's going to be raffled off here in conjunction with another axe, hopefully starting this week. And then I've also got another set of axes that I just acquired last night that'll be going off in the following week. So Trying to do something to where we can fulfill all these requests.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, so everybody that's watching, if you're, looking to support a good cause, bid on those axes, get you a raffle ticket, whatever, however they do that, so that you can help kind of support the cause there. And then they can, where can people submit a sponsorship
So
for
you
the
can go.
Hatchets for Heroes?
Not only is it on the championship portal there, but it's also you can go to hatchets4heroes.com and there's a sponsor request form right there, so you can fill that in, put in the info that you've got there, and it'll go right into the spreadsheet that we've got built already. And depending on what we generate here, if we can do something for everybody, hopefully at least an entry fee or something. If not, then we'll send it to the spinner and we'll randomize the winners. So
Perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're a veteran or anything like that, you meet the criteria, definitely fill that out, so that you can, have the chance to, take advantage of what Austin's offering through Hatchets for Heroes.
I mean, there's many other benefits with like traveling. If you fly a Legion and you're a veteran, let them know you can get a 100-pound bag covered for free with a Legionnaire. Just some other tips along the way, but yeah, this one at least we could try to guarantee something for people.
Yeah, and I think you also said, you told me at Hatchets for while we were in Augusta that there's a different
Hotel.
room rate as well, $99.
Right, the $99 room right now. I think Ryan Smith had brought up that he thinks that's for active.
Okay,
Yeah, we called and the person at the desk, they said no, it's military rate, but it could change the day of. So
sure.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you could at least try.
yeah.
You could give them a call, see if they can adjust it. I know that we had ours adjusted. We found a different rate. So even if you've already reserved, they can sometimes still add different rates and things. So it's worth a shot if you are
Absolutely.
a veteran or associated with the military.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, so we went to a regional. You were there. How was the first 2025 tournament?
Well, it was pretty good. I actually got in a couple days early. You know how Florida throwers are; they get a little antsy. They wanted to get up there early, so we got there 2 days ahead of schedule, and kind of helped Vinny do a little bit of prep work. And this was my third time going there, so I've been there since his first one. That was my first tournament years ago, and so it's nice to see how it's grown. The amount of people. I mean, it pretty solid all the way around competition. I actually got to play you two fellas for the first time, so that was quite an honor, and it was just a good time. Good time.
It was nice of you to let me win too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, Big X. I felt good with our games. I mean, down 1 point going into the final throw and 2 points on the next one. I felt pretty good, even if it was your first
Yeah.
match. I'm still claiming it. I'm still.
Oh yeah, that's nothing to be ashamed of. 1 point, that's good.
Yeah. Of course, them kills. You're locked in on them, so it's tough. It's tough.
Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're good for sure.
Yeah. But no, if anybody that if Hatchets for Heroes don't apply to you and you can get it in, guys. I appreciate it. I'd love to get more feedback right now, but they're calling me down there right now, so I'm gonna handle any app issues that we might have came across.
All right. Well, real quick, when is your tournament?
So Memorial Day weekend, the 23rd to 25th, we'll be hosting the O-Town Throwdown here at the Axe Trap in Winter Park. So definitely, it's a nice big open space venue. We've got full cocktail bar. We've got food in house. So yeah, we'll try to take care of anything and everything y'all need.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to it. Definitely gonna do. I think we got tickets, flights today, so we'll hopefully see you there unless something crazy changes between now and then.
Right. Awesome. Are
You going to Arizona?
I wish. 5 kids says, nah, I can't go to all of them.
Nah. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. Well, I guess we'll see you Worlds first.
Yep.
All right.
Definitely.
Well,
Cool.
thanks for hopping on. And hopefully everybody that can see it, even if they weren't able to watch live, can go back and watch it and find out more about the Hatchets for Heroes.
Yeah, good
Hatchets,
luck. Good luck at league.
Thank you. You know I need it. I might be one of them 550 players if I don't step it up.
Nah, I think you'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
All right, guys.
All right, see ya.
Cool. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, that was Austin Shepard with Hatchets for Heroes and the host of the second WATL National this year in Florida. Talked a little bit about Masters of Axes. Want to go a little more in depth on finishes for Masters of Axes?
Yeah. Go ahead. I gotta do something. You handle it.
Okay. All right. So Masters of Axes. What did we start off with? We start off with Big X.
Big
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 X and then duels. Yeah. So Big X and duels were the first events on Saturday. Big X finished with the third place finisher Eagle Eye Strasburg. Second place was Sean Daniels, and then first place winning that Soul PBR fixed gear bike was Lucas, and that fixed gear bike is for sale. So if you have any interest in, it does freewheel as well, but like an urban flat bar style single speed bike, encrusted with PBR emblems, hit up Lucas and maybe you can work out a deal. And then after Big Axe, we had duels. Man, duels is slightly frustrating because of the seating.
I forgot. We
could chat about
Austin
that. I was gonna
Austin
bring it
wasn't
up
really
right when he
excited
was
about
like, oh, I gotta go. But yeah, seating was a little frustrating because we had to, like for us especially, and for the teams we had to play, but we had to, throw against essentially the top two seeds right away, which was a little, probably annoying for them. But duels ended up, third place was Team 6-4, which was Eagle Eye Strasburg again and Austin. Second place was the Forgetful Axe Holes, which was James Waldrop and Raymond Dales. And then first place was Team Step Brothers, which is Frank Christmas and Jeff Culp. So awesome for those guys. In first, second, and third, all three. But
Yep.
Do we want to talk about seating, or do we want to just?
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, I guess the seating right now, probably at least for the last year, also seating has been kind of messed up for duels, just with the way that it's calculated for teams that don't throw together. So, for example, if you don't have
throw a league together or season league,
league together, yeah. So if you don't have a league average, then what they do is they take your league averages and they put them together, and then they take that and I think -2. I'm not sure exactly how many, but either way, even without the loss of points, even just straight up the two average together, when you're talking about 2024 rules where people were throwing from 15, it's a big difference between those scores and what a top duels team is throwing. Where somebody's averaging a 50 and a 51, which are pretty good scores for 2024 rules.
Yep.
You're now 5 points behind the top team. And so you could be seated, near the bottom and play one of the top teams first, which is what happened this weekend or that weekend, 2 weekends ago. So I don't know. I think there's, obviously some ways to fix that. Hopefully they'll start to use 2025 averages in the future, which will help fix that. And yeah, so I do think they need to kind of see where those averages are and really look to see how many points they should be taking away after doing the average of the two. Because that was another frustrating thing for a while, is even teams that weren't thrown together were seeding really high and maybe too high. They were getting first seed automatically because it was just their 2 seasons. So there's got to be a line there where they won't seed higher than the actual duels team that throws league together, but are still, within the same realm. So
Hopefully everybody understood that. If not,
probably not.
let us
It's,
know. We can go over it again.
Nah, it's just a personal pet peeve just because I really like duels, and so it's just.
Yeah, but I mean, like we said in this particular tournament, I mean it
It
wasn't
didn't really
just us
affect
that.
us as much as it affected other teams.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
just,
so much for those people. It also sucks for the 1 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that was Big Action Duels. So that was Saturday. Sunday was Hatchet. Started off with Am Hatchet, which was really cool to see. I think because it was interesting to see, like the scores that Ams were throwing compared to like what kind of we anticipated the open bracket would throw or score, and I think that it was cool to see just because it is closer than what it was. I think than what it would have been if the 2024 target had stayed the same and it was just 12 feet. Nobody threw perfect, which I don't think so. Anyways,
I mean, in amateur, or just
I really was just thinking amateur, but I don't think anybody threw any in open either.
I mean, I threw a perfect game. I just hit all the bullseyes.
Yeah, he threw 60.
It's still perfect. I didn't.
It
miss
was still
anything.
perfect. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, no 64s thrown.
So Am
I
Hatchet.
don't think I had.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't think I had very many chances to even do it.
Yeah, I think the only time I threw when I was throwing against Vincent towards the end, he had an opportunity where he could have, but he opted, I think, to stay down. He had thrown eight bowls in a row, and then
Jeff Culp that's in here. He had an opportunity to throw one too.
Yep, he did. But Am Hatchet, third place finisher was Sean Eaton. Second place was Al Cochran. And then first place was Amber Norman. So congratulations to you three. You guys threw very well in Am Hatchet. And then Open Hatchet, like we were talking, there wasn't any perfect games there. There were at least 2 opportunities. I mean, there may have been a little more. But third place finish was the tournament host, Vincent and Gallinera. Second place was Bullmag's John Cotter. And then first place, I think it's kind of obvious based on the conversation earlier, wearing the first place plaid jacket, Lucas won Hatchet.
Right. Woo. It was definitely a new type of trophy that I haven't had, so who knows, might just wear it everywhere. Haven't taken it off since I won.
Do you think if you were to go back, I mean, I don't think there's an issue with going back, but if you were to throw and win again, do you think you would get another plaid jacket, or do you think you would just give you like another patch? You just get a patch on there.
I think he would give me the other jacket.
Yeah.
If you win the Masters, you get another jacket, right?
Yeah. You do.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll probably get another jacket. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. Well, that was Masters of Axes. That was the first WATL Regional of the year in Augusta, Georgia. That was the rescheduled from the 2024, so there will be a 2025 one. I believe he was talking later in the year. It was a really cool event, really cool little city area. One other cool thing that he did for Hatchet on Sunday was he had a local celebrity come in and throw the first throw, and then I was very surprised by this, but he stayed and hung out the whole day. But former NHL player Trevor Gillies was there. Used to play for the New York Islanders, Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Played for a very long time. He was an enforcer. If you search him on Google, you will, or on YouTube, sorry, you will find a lot of really cool hockey fights. He was the guy that protected everybody. So got to spend quite a bit of time. He hung out with us quite a bit.
Yeah. It
Right.
was definitely interesting. I thought somebody asked a stupid question, and it turned out it was a good question. Like if he has a fighting coach, I was like, bro, no, you just fight.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they
So
have fighting coaches.
we did talk to Trevor a little bit too about what he does post NHL career. And he does some stuff with payment processing. And at some point, we're going to try to get him on the podcast. So we thought that what he offers in his current post NHL career with payment processing stuff, he sounded like he might be able to help some people get better rates on credit cards. So if you're a venue owner, you may want to stay tuned for that episode. Hopefully, we can get him on here in the next couple of weeks. But really cool guy, and it was a really fun event. So long drive, but a really fun event. I don't think I got home till like 3:00 in the morning. That after we left.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember exactly what time I got home, but like a little bit
It was about
after
midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Masters of the Axes, or Masters of Axes. Sorry.
Correct.
That was 2 weekends ago. This past weekend was our first Throw Pros tournament of the year. Rock and Roll City Rampage, which was held at the Axe House Cleveland, home of your favorite head judge, Tabitha, and
Yeah.
your favorite maker, David. I guess he is still a maker, but he on a sabbatical.
Just taking a little break. Yeah, a little
Yep.
break. Before we talk about that, I sent you a message, but also, let's talk about rating real quick, just so everybody knows why I have this on my background. Let me move out of the way here. For those that don't know, I'm sure we're going to talk about this plenty of times in the coming episodes and previous episodes we already have, but it took about 3 weeks for 2 people to reach the maximum rating here. So I don't know.
That's after they've raised the cap.
That's correct. After they raised the cap, and
What
after
was the other cap? Do you have a screen for that?
I deleted it already. There was a 900 was the cap, which took like 4 games for me to get, and I didn't have a high rating to start with.
It took a lot. It didn't take long for a lot of people to get stuck. I think there was at least five or six
for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to, other people's thoughts. I mean, this assuming that it hadn't been brought up that, hey, I don't know that rating is going to work for seating. This is what we would be seating off of, and what's the tiebreaker for everybody that's at 1,200? Because I mean, if Dalton or Matt or Tyler, Shane, Jacob from all of those people have over 1,000. Let me see if I can move out of the way enough this way. All of those people are, 100-ish points away, so they could easily make it to 1,200, with a marathon.
Yeah, just
So
depends on if
happens?
their particular rating worked on any given day that they were throwing.
That's correct. It does depend if rating is currently working in the app.
Yeah.
So you do want to kind of check that periodically as you're doing it, because last week, Kyle and I both noticed that rating was not working on Wednesday.
Yeah, mine has only worked on one day so far, and it was the day of Hatchet at Masters of the Axes. This is the only time it has ever worked. That day only. After that, before that, didn't work at all. So
I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the rating to know if this is the case, but does it work differently in a tournament?
I don't know. I mean,
Is there, because that's how I feel like mine got so much higher quickly was at the tournament, just because I didn't lose any games in matches.
yeah, and I
So I
mean, I
didn't
guess
know if,
everybody you were playing to is going to have a higher rating. So
correct, yeah, it
that's
was less
helpful.
amateur people that I was throwing against, so that
Oh, that's true. I was getting ready to say, I guess it was all, but there
pretty
was.
much there was
I think
only
there was
one, I
one
think, in the
person that
tournament.
was that signed up for it. That
I
was
think Marguerite. I don't know if that Margarita. I don't know how she actually. I think it's Marguerite, but I believe she was the only amateur that opted to throw in the open.
I believe that's correct.
I'm curious. I am curious to know how
She
her
was
rating was affected
she was in
pre and
here.
post.
She was in here earlier, I think.
Marguerite, come back.
You also need to help us here real quick.
Yeah, they definitely affected it,
Is it a
Marguerite. But
hard G or is it
oh yeah, am I saying it
like
wrong?
Marguerite or Marguerite?
Yeah, you can let me know that I'm screwing it all up. But yeah, definitely does go up. I'm just curious how much yours went up. And I was just curious if it affects it differently. I guess it mostly, like Kyle said, affects it more because of the quality of the throwers that you're throwing against.
Yeah.
So if you win, you should gain more points than losing. That, or rather than the ones that you would gain most likely at your local league, unless you just have a lot of pro
Pros.
throwers in your league. But
Yeah, rating has been so frustrating. I'm glad that
been
it's
frustrating.
kind of like officially been uh, like not taken down, but
A
like
little.
it's officially just being tested right now.
Well, that's not true. It's not being tested for amateurs. It's like for seeding wise, it is, but not for like how somebody's going to be determined as a pro for season two, or if they're a pro currently.
No,
I mean, it wasn't really tested previously to giving out those classifications. So like all those people that got denied that are now
if that
have a
is the case, then they need to stop. They need to take it off completely. Because if
I
it
mean,
doesn't work, then there's going to be people getting screwed in some way, shape, or form. Like if
yeah, I mean,
somebody's rating isn't moving on a given night because they're making edits to something in the back end and nothing happens, they're getting hosed, and I think that's
well, and
wrong.
there's like the inverse of that though too,
Hundred
because right
percent.
now there are one, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
You would
16,
you would
17.
think that would be the case, Tom. You would think that would be the case, but
There's 25 AMs in the top 100. There's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35,
so
36, 37, 38.
are they using rating to determine the pro
So,
bids?
yes, so there's 40 of them. Well, not rating, but there's 40 amateurs who were decided to be amateurs based upon their rating prior to this season. There are 40 amateurs in the top 128. So that's going to take away 40 people that are pro that now won't get a pro bid, or rather won't get their first season of trying to get their pro bid. And also those 40 people that are amateurs also still miss out on this season, but they miss out on the opportunity to now when they are pro to get their first season that would have given them an automatic bid.
So they're not just taking the top 128 pros. It's the top 128 period.
That's what they've always done from in the past.
Oh, maybe that is the case. I just assumed that they sorted out the pro and am and just took
Unless
128 from there.
they're deciding to do that on the back end, as far as I know, that's not the case.
Yeah.
But 40 people are taking up spots that pros could get currently. Granted, it's Tuesday, so best time to check is like on a Saturday or Friday because that's when the day before and
Yeah,
is the most up to date.
The
But,
vast majority of leagues are Sunday through Thursday.
well, that and it always, the beginning of the week is always the people that have marathons because they're always ahead. So there's probably some people that have less games that maybe have higher averages. So if I sorted it by average, that would be more correct. But instead, I just did it based on the top. So 40 might be slightly off. It's probably more like 30, but there's still a lot. I mean, that's still almost 25%,
Right.
even if I drop it to 30. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how it's handled at the end of the season to see if they do.
Yeah, I think it would be worth them revisiting the 2024 rating and adjusting it to include the 7-point kill shot and just use that as your rating. I mean, if you want to do the tournament thing, if you want to do like who you're throwing against in a tournament and making that adjustment affect your rating, I think that would probably be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
a
I think
hard thing
in a league, I think you just need to go off of pure statistics.
Sure.
There's
I
just
mean, it's definitely the
too
most
much of a discrepancy
fair.
between like the level of throwers in a local league. So
Yeah, I mean, it'll just really depend on how your league is in this scenario if they do use ratings. So it's not really fair from league to league as far as rating goes.
yeah, especially if it doesn't work either. Like if it's like somebody in here just a second ago, Scott St. Clair said, if you're the only pro in your league, your rating's not going anywhere. It should move a little bit. It should. I mean, it's like fractional too at this point. Like there are ratings that are point something something. It should move at least 0.01. But like there are instances where it won't move at all. So in those instances, I definitely think that something is broken on the back end because it should move at some point. So, and that's frustrating because if it's broken, then it shouldn't count for anything. Or there should be a way to proactively go back and do that, but the way the equation works, there's no way to do that. It's like you said, Lucas, when you threw in that marathon league and you reached that 900 cap in 4 games.
Yeah.
You threw 24 more games that just were a waste.
Yeah, and I tried to explain that, and they were like, "Oh, they didn't really want to fix it." But at least on Wednesday, they did go back, find the issue, and fix that because I did contact the app team directly
Oh, this past week?
on Wednesday. Yeah, so my Wednesday one did not update. It was like 11:27 before I started league that night, and it didn't move after I won all 4 games. So I messaged and said, "Hey, you know, me and Chris DuBois, we were watching. I asked him, like, hey, what's going on with yours? And I just wanted to see if mine was the only one not moving to see if like, does it get harder to increase as you get closer to 1200? Like, is it like, I don't know the correct word for it, but like, can you only get small increments as you get closer to that cap?" And his also wasn't moving. So I messaged and said, "Hey, noticed a few people in our league, no changes in their rating tonight. Won 4 games, nothing changed. The other person also won 4 games, no change. So just wanted to see." And yeah, they messaged me back and got it taken care of the next day, or actually, I think that night.
But you had to do that proactively.
Correct. Yeah, I had to be paying attention. That's what I'm saying. So I do think like
Yeah, so like mine was
periodically-
the same thing when we talked. Mine didn't move it all that day either. So if you don't reach out and message them, like,
Yeah, I don't know what the issue was or what was found or how they fixed it or any of that. I didn't ask for details, but it seems like something that if it's going to be used in the future for anything, or if you're near a threshold of becoming pro or not, I would just kind of keep an eye on it. You can see it on your um, you can see it on your profile. You can also go to players when you're on WATL or your venue and also see it. So I would just do that periodically to just kind of keep an eye on it as it's being tested to see, you know, what changes there are and if it does ever change for you.
yeah, it's frustrating
But
because it should just work.
yeah, you can. I'm going to share the link with our other guests now.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Good.
Yep. Have to do that same quick button push.
You.
I probably actually don't have to be as quick unless this. I need a button that plays the Jeopardy music right now.
Like some intro music for them.
Could probably do that. All right. Still got a good chunk. People watching. Everyone thinks that we stopped or something because it did just drop a few people.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
back,
we're
or
done.
you're gonna miss our next guest. One of the coolest guests we've had before, or had at all.
Very cool.
Did he have to download the Zoom?
I don't know. Maybe.
We're getting ready to talk about the Rock and Roll City Rampage tournament, which is why we're inviting this particular guest on. Yeah, you just messaged the app team? Or did you message James?
Message James.
Okay.
All right. Well, while he's figuring it out, he said he's updating. Like it made him do an update
so this
first.
is
Come on,
a Tommy
Tommy.
situation.
He said, "Oh my God, it feels like it's going so slow." All right. Well, when he gets on, we're going to talk about this weekend. Just our original guest was going to be Kerry Brown, who was in here. He had something come up. He wasn't able to join. We'll try to have him on again before the tournament if we have another episode. If there's some stuff to talk about in a week or so. We were going to have Kerry on, who's hosting the second national in
Sierra
Vista, Arizona. And yeah, we're just going to have him on, let him talk a little bit about the tournament, any of the other stuff that's going on. I think they're doing maybe a marathon the day before on Thursday or something.
I think I saw
when
that.
I was looking at the schedule.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, so just let him kind of tell us a little bit more about the tournament and things like that. So hopefully he'll be able to hop on the next episode.
Yeah, we can always jump in and do another. I mean, as we get closer, we still got essentially a month from today. I'm sure there will be other things that make us want to jump in and do an episode.
Maybe.
Oh, all right,
We'll see.
hang on here.
Yeah,
hang on here.
it's a knife marathon, Bruce says.
All
So
right, hang on 1 second here. I'm gonna click that button. I'm gonna jump over and click that button. was too fast.
Hey. Uh-oh. He's connected to audio. He's muted. He's got it. No,
Nope.
you gotta
You
unmute
gotta
yourself.
unmute.
You're almost there. Uh-oh.
There we go. Oh no.
I can't hear you. Hold on. Just select a different mic. I have faith. We're still good. We can see you.
Yep.
Which is a step in the right direction.
All right.
I can't hear you. Oh, success. Mike, I have faith. We're still good. We can see you.
You can't hear me though?
Step in the right direction. No, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay,
now.
cool.
You might have to turn the speakers down a little bit because I can hear myself.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
No, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
You might have to turn. Are you
I'm gonna
watching it
close the-
also?
Here.
Yeah, I think it's just because you're watching it because it's like delayed. Okay.
There we go.
All right, cool.
Hey, what's up?
All right, well,
You
for
got
those that don't
Supergirl on your
know-
wall in the background?
Yeah, what you got?
Melissa Benoit?
Yep. She's crushed for sure.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thanks for
All
joining
right,
us,
well-
Joe.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks for being a last minute guest for us.
I guess I don't Zoom very often, so yeah.
Yeah, you got to
I had
up
the Tommy
your
updates.
Zoom game. At least you were able to update. Tommy's still waiting for his to download.
Yeah.
He's still updated.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wonder if he could even get on as a guest since I kicked him out the last time and it like banned him from jumping in as a
Yeah,
guest. We'll have to try that
he
again.
can't. He's no longer allowed on Zoom. Actually.
Well, you
anyway.
kicked him.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Lil Baby Joe Cool Divine joining us. Our special guest for the evening, who was at our tournament that Kyle talked about a little bit earlier, just that was thrown half on this target. I worked really hard on this
look at that.
background.
That's fancy.
Yeah, I worked really hard on this. So for those that were able to catch some of the live, you may have seen us throwing on this, and just wanted to, talk about it a little bit, see what Joe thought about it.
Yeah, if you didn't watch the lives, they are on our Throw Pros Facebook page. You can go back and watch them, see how he played. So
I just had do you have a live stream that you just like you didn't release for the duels final? Because I really wanted to see that.
That's the only one we didn't go live
the
for.
only
because
one was duels.
I was throwing and I didn't there wasn't a big break before. I feel like that I didn't have time to set up the stream on my phone, and so unfortunately, there's no live stream. But Joe and I won. Just let everybody know we won. Joe has the trophy because we only had one trophy.
That's
We
right.
forgot to get two, but we did win. That's true. And Yosh wants to know if we're throwing together, and the answer is yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Facebook official.
Yes, Facebook official. It's no longer complicated. But so anybody that's on the watching the live here, just a quick rundown of this. There were 5 of these targets on the board. One in the center, one upper right, upper left, and lower right. We kind of threw in a pattern. So start top left, middle, bottom right, upper right, bottom left, and that was the order for everything for the weekend. So it made it pretty easy for people to, follow and know what was happening on each throw.
Yeah.
For everyone except for
Somebody threw it the wrong one.
yeah, I think it was
David
Wellman.
Corley and Wellman, I think, were both.
I think he did it 3 times in one display.
Okay, that's pretty bad. It was also written on a whiteboard, like right in front of you, and all you had to do was remember the one, like just throw second, just throw it the same one as your opponent,
Yeah.
and then figure it out. Yeah, so All right. Well, what was your thoughts out of? Well, we'll talk about just the two that we threw on this. So knives and hatchet.
Okay.
What did you think?
Okay. I thought it was fun and definitely a different challenge. Um, the knives was a blast. It's hard to get a, a five on with knives. Like you
Yes.
just have to hit that center line and that's it. Um, yeah, and then with hatchet, so knives was super fun. I really enjoyed that. Although if you're in the larger box, like the outer black box there,
Yeah.
that's a two. And I feel like there's definitely some like a bad throw can be a two, and then a good throw can be a two.
You're right. All right. So I got something. I already
Okay.
prepared for this.
Well, let's
Are you ready?
talk about Hatchet first. Talk about Hatchet first. Don't
All
we'll
right.
get
All right.
we'll
So
get sidetracked too much if we bring that up.
all right. So there were. I had the same feeling for knives, where I thought, the box is 7 inches by 7 inches, like maybe it was a little too big to be giving away 2 points, just because all the other things were so much harder to get. Like a 3 and a 4 seemed much harder than getting a 2, right?
Yep.
And just sticking the knife, even with the tip out, which I don't know whose idea it was to even ask if we should do that, but that was a terrible idea. Um, we will not be doing tip out again as a good throw.
Agreed.
Um, and
Explain why though. Explain why.
well, I just the point of this target for hatchet and knife is that you're rewarding not only aim but also rotation. So being able to control rotation and get the most coverage. So not ideal for those people that have a very different throw each time they throw, where sometimes they're over rotated, sometimes they're under rotated, and they're missing those things. It teaches you to rotate it the same way every time, and to try to get the center mass of your axe in the center. Because for hatchet, you need to touch all three of these lines with your axe in order to get 5 points. And there were a couple of flaws with that too, that we talked about, like somebody touching the top line here. This is so hard to do. Somebody touching the top line and this line barely seemed like not as good. That's worth 4 points if you touch two of these. But then somebody else throwing here, and their blade being all the way down here, but just barely missing this red line, seemed like a much better throw in my opinion, and you got the same amount of points. So I haven't shared this drawing with anybody except for Kyle yet, because I just made it a few minutes ago. But this is my thought, which looks way more complicated, but it's not. It's not really.
Let's
You
see
ready?
it. You got it on a piece of paper or what? Oh, you got it in. Oh, wow.
Bang! And we're here. All right. So previously, where landing anywhere out here would be a 1, and then anywhere in here would be a 2, but instead this would be a 0.
I can't see what you're pointing at.
He's just
Can't
meaning
see.
outside the box.
This is a 0 anywhere out here. This would be a 1.
Yep.
This would be a 2, etc. So, and then my theory is, I think that if you're in this outer box and you get a 1, the red line would be +1.
So 2.
So like you could get a 2 if you hit right here on the edge and touch the red line.
Yeah, because
Right,
center of mass would be closer to it'd
Yeah.
be a better throw.
And then this would be a 3.
Sure.
And then I don't have it all fleshed out here, but bear with me. Touching 4 of these red lines would be a 4.
Sure.
Touching only 3 of them would
Be a 3.
be the thing where it gets a little weird. I guess
Right.
it's still a 3, but maybe, because I don't know, if this is a 3, then is that the same as touching 3 of these lines?
Nah. Maybe
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that is still a 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer yet, but this is just it's an evolving thing. This was really a big test this weekend. So
Yeah.
I think the best thing about knives was that it although it didn't really feel like it, it was, you were never out of it because of the way we did just 1 point based upon your 3 throws. I think I would be interested to actually do the knife thing where we just keep score and see how much of a different game it is. And maybe, just play, all 5 targets and whoever has the best score at the end instead of just giving away 1 point each time.
Yeah, the beauty of doing what we did this past weekend is that the games were very close, almost always. More times than not, they were very close, and you could still come back.
Correct.
Where doing like a hard score, like the actual numbers, there's definitely opportunity for massive blowouts. So, just a matter
sure.
of trying to figure that balance.
I did like that. Like if something, you're trying to troubleshoot on the fly, you're aiming at targets that you don't normally throw at, like in places that you don't normally throw.
And
Yeah.
with no
Especially for knives.
consistency either. You're not throwing at the same thing twice. I mean,
Right.
you're throwing at the same. You may throw at the same thing, but 5 throws from the time you throw at it.
Yep.
So, I think that was really cool. Your constant movement.
So I like that you could have a bad round because like maybe something's off and you're trying to figure out, hey, I never throw out these bottom boxes. How do I figure this out on the fly? And you have a bad round, and let's say you drop all 3 of them. You only lose 1 point.
That's right.
Right.
So so there's time to recover and like figure out what you're doing and troubleshoot in real time.
Yeah, I think that is a good thing, and what that was frustrating, but also it just depended on what end of that you were on. Because like,
Yeah.
if my opponent does it and I stick that and I have a really good set, then it's like, well, crap, I only got 1 point.
Yep.
But if it happens to me, then it's like, oh well, they only got 1 point.
Yeah, we
Not that
good.
big of a
Yeah.
deal. Yeah, no problem. I thought, doing the same pattern for big axe and duels was fun and made it a little different. I think maybe for big axe, I think the kill shots were maybe still too important.
You think so?
Yeah, or rather maybe duels actually is what I meant.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say, Big X I didn't
because
really
you
see
could,
it.
yeah, I meant duels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
because
I-
there's 8 points possible in duels,
right.
and that's a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, if you in the other disciplines, like in Big X, for example, if you're up 5 going into kills, it's over.
correct.
Yeah.
But in duels, you have to be up 9, and that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, and because of the way we were doing the scoring, we weren't doing 6 points, so you weren't getting 12, so it made it even worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it didn't work the way we wanted just because of some app issues. We weren't able to do 12 points on there, and we didn't want to score 100 times because in Hatchet we had a lot of throws.
So
Right.
I would also rephrase what you just said to not app issues, but more app restricted. App
Yeah.
restrictions.
I
So
mean,
it wasn't issues
was
with
an
the app, it was
issue-
just restrictions with what we could score.
Well, it was an issue for us, but it wasn't because of the app per se.
Correct.
It was just
Right.
we didn't plan it out correctly. But so on a really cool thing with the app that we use, Scoreholio, is that you have tons of stats on the back end. And we kind of
Ridiculous amount
skewed
stats.
some of them with the way we were doing scoring. We couldn't get exact stats of necessarily how people threw, but we did have a pretty good idea of how much people threw.
Yeah.
And so for Hatchet, we were playing until somebody got to 7 and won by 2. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I just couldn't. We did so many
Yeah, it was-
different
it was
types of
7
rules.
I think
7
Hatchet
win
was
by 2.
5.
Oh, Hatchet was the
Yeah,
first
it
one
was
to 5.
5. It was
Yeah.
5.
It was the 5. Originally, we were going to do it the other way. All right, so it was the first person to get to 5, because Joe and I had 2 4-4 games.
Right.
and it was like next point wins type of thing. But you could tie. So if I threw a 5 and Joe threw a 5, we would put in 0-0 and we would move on.
Yeah, and I discussed this too, and like you can hear me talking about this in the background of the live stream. At least it was one of Justin Reese's matches with. It may have been with you, Joe. Did you throw against Justin towards the end of Hatchet?
I don't remember.
But it was or it could have maybe even been John's. But like the rounds, it was pretty wild because like the first set went like 14 throws, and then the second one went 8 throws, and then the third one went 13 throws, and the fourth one, because I think it went 4 or 5 with whatever the game was like 19 rounds, so 19 throws, and so it was never like a consistent, you're going to throw 10 throws, you're going to throw 10 throws, you're going to throw 10 throws. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, some games were definitely different. But just a quick thing, Justin Reese threw 300 throws.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hatchet.
300 rounds. That does include his 25 seeding throws, but
correct.
So he threw 275 during the day, and that's assuming, because I know for a while people weren't even putting in 0-0.
Yeah.
So if you had a judge that didn't do that, he most likely threw more than that. So kind of cool. There were people that threw marathons.
And what's crazy too is it really didn't take a significant amount of time longer than a normal tournament.
Yeah.
But, no, it really didn't.
So there were other top, like obviously if you stayed in for a while, you had a better chance of doing this. But like Justin threw 300, John Depke had like 290 something, Tyler had 280 something, Corley 270, Mark Tishko 260 something. I think I had like 250. It just goes on, and it's got, I think the person that threw the least still threw 73 throws, which is
so 73 minus, so way more
even
than
if you went
way more throws than they would throw in a normal tournament if they went 0-2.
Yep. Correct. Yeah. So I think that's a positive for sure.
Yes, good value.
But we're gonna send out a survey to the people that were there, see if we can get feedback from kind of everybody that threw in different things. I think Tyler was gonna put something together for that just to get a little more feedback, because I mean we're just trying things at this point, things that we would like to see, and it's kind of hard to just test in theory. This is how it should go. You got to kind of apply them and see what happens.
So I liked in the hatchet, especially in a 10 throw game, eventually time's gonna run out on you, and like if you get down, you're just like once your 10 throws done, it's over.
Yep.
But in this, as long as you could stabilize and tie, just keep tying and trying to get a lead. I mean, that's a big comeback mechanic. Unless the person throws better than you on every throw, you can stick around.
Yeah, another thing
sure.
I think you're kind of touching on too is that if the better your throw is, the more stamina you can have while you're throwing too. If you can just outlast your opponent, that also I think was a big part of it too. Like, your opponent could just tire out if they're not used to it.
Well, yeah, if you're throwing a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think looking through here, I was trying to see how many games there were that there was one. I don't think there were very many 5-0 or like where the other opponent didn't score at all.
Right.
I was trying to see, how many of those there were.
Or even 5 throw games where
correct. Yeah.
They just won on 5 throws.
Yeah. So Yeah, I can't tell for sure without digging in a little bit deeper, but it looks like there was a total of 9. It looks like there were 9 games that ended with one person not scoring. Um, and I guess I could click on each of those and kind of see if it went more rounds. But I think that's interesting to, see that, no matter what, you still had a chance, right? Like you were
Yeah.
saying, even if you were down, even, I think in both of our games, one of us had a lead by like 2 or 3, and then the other person would come back and tie it. So it was like 2-0, then it was 2-2, then it was 4-2, then it was 4-4, and then ultimately the next point won. But it was, you were never like, oh, I'm just coasting now, right? Like I can just finish out this game and it'll be over. You had to be throwing your best every throw to have a chance to, to eventually win. You couldn't take a throw off and, oh, I'm, you know, assuming like in big X on throw 5 in a normal Waddle game, if you're up 2, it's no different than being up 1, so you can afford to throw a 5, right?
Yep.
Yep.
In this, if you throw one bad throw and they throw a good throw, well, now they're catching up to you.
Yeah, you
'cause
can't win
it's not
unless
over,
yeah.
right? So it's like you're always. I think that was the thing I liked the most, was that you were always trying to throw your best. And it put that pressure on you on almost every throw to make sure that you were, fully locked in and focused on each throw.
Are you thinking of using the target you have up now behind you is hatchet, right?
Yeah, I think it would use the same. I mean, I think we would draw it the same, maybe without the lines, maybe with. I don't know. I need to kind of work through some scenarios.
I think so some of my feedback, like I think that box can be more narrow. The the center one.
This one. Or sorry, I was using my mouse like you could see it.
Yeah,
So
the high scoring box. Yeah,
this one. This one can be more narrow.
yeah. Because
Okay.
again, you get like you drill one and it's like, yeah, that feels good. Like it does feel great to drill a 5 on
Oh,
a target.
yeah. When you hit a 5, especially if you were like in the center of it too,
Yeah.
like not an edge one,
Yep.
man, those were good. Like when I would go up there to look, I was like,
I'm so good
yeah,
at
that's a good
this.
throw. I'm so good at this. It's not fair.
So the only thing that I would say about making that box narrow, I think I like adding extra things so you still have to make the throw better in terms of controlling not only, I mean, I think if you make it narrower, like obviously we want this to be, you want to have the best throws possible, but I do think you have to find the right balance between um, all levels of thrower that are thrown.
Yeah.
But
How
I
wide is it right now?
2 inches,
2 inches?
so
Mhm.
a half inch
So it's
wider
like,
than what we are on bullseyes.
Okay.
yeah, so it's already
What is it? What is a bullseye? 1.75 inches or 1.5 inches?
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half.
inch and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still harder on that target,
Yeah.
even though it's wider
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of the other things involved.
Yeah, I think first, I do think that might be an iteration, because I was also considering maybe adding another section like
In the middle.
in the middle,
Yeah.
like the same way that I added this line and this line.
Well, you're getting good
I
at
was
it now.
thinking about, yeah, I was thinking about adding another small box, like you said, like a narrower box here in the center. That was just like I don't know. It could be, I guess, another point or something.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see what Tyler says. I haven't even shown him this, but uh, the other really cool thing was that it was cool to finally throw on it with people, and kind of see, this thing that, really Tyler Tyler mostly, and I helped, kind of design in a Airbnb bedroom some months ago. Um, Kind of see it come out and see something that people enjoy, or something a little different just for fun. So that was fun for this weekend too, just to kind of see it work out.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
did
same.
did help that I didn't enjoy knives, but I also didn't do very well. So maybe that was why.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it all. I think what I also enjoyed outside, other than just throwing on it, like you said, with other people, it was also like utilizing Scoreholio. I think that
Yes.
app, like the more we've messed around with it, the more robust we realize that it actually is, and like the features are just awesome. I mean, really awesome. So I'm excited to do more stuff on that as well.
Yeah, it was fun to use. And it would like let me know when my game was up, and like I followed you, Kyle, on
Yeah.
there. So after your match was over, it would say Kyle won 5-2 or whatever.
Well, that only
Yeah.
happened a few times, and then it told you that I
I
lost.
wish, I wish, I do wish there was a setting that after your own game, if you lost, it didn't tell
It
you.
didn't tell you.
Like, yeah,
Because
I know.
Yeah.
like I lost to Tyler pretty bad in knives. So like my worst game in knives, he beat me like 7-1. And I got back to my phone and I like went to look at something else to obviously not reminisce in that. And instead I had to, because it was like, you just lost to Tyler Flynn 7-1.
Yeah, I
Like,
think what's really cool with that feature too is
thanks,
that
Scorelio.
like Amanda was here at the venue and she could set it up to where it would notify her so that she didn't have to like keep the bracket up all day and like happen to, get a chance to follow along in the app. Like would get a notification and then she could focus on the game that was going on, or at least
Yep.
know, like, if she didn't get a chance to catch it because she was busy with customers, she'd get another notification saying like what happened. So yeah, I think
Yep.
it's cool for like significant others or people that want to watch or pay attention to your stuff when they're not at the tournament as well.
So we're gonna be using that for the day before in April on the Wednesday before
Yeah.
Worlds.
We'll use that app just because it won't cost uh, $500 to run the tournament on it.
$500. We didn't have a. Are you mean $1,000 or 1,200?
Well, yeah, but we're not
$5.
running multiple disciplines. We're just
Right.
doing a relay, so it would have been very expensive. But yes, for this, we'll set it up. We'll come up with a way to set it up on there to score it correctly. But really, for relay, we'll just need to play to 5, right?
Right, you're just playing a 1 point game.
Yeah.
Whoever won
So
the
we can set it up a certain way to first player to 5,
yeah.
etc. Unlimited rounds.
Oh yeah, another feature that was cool that I started messing with, like Hatchet Day, was on the back end. You can put all the prize pool money and the breakdowns, and so like then the prize pool, like when you jump in the app and you look at the standings, like as people are finishing and stuff, it tells you like the prize pool
The
breakdown.
standings page was actually like, it's crazy that that's not a thing for
Yeah.
WATL tournaments.
Now, like as soon as you are done, as soon as you lose your 2, boom, you've got your placement is there, done.
It tells you what place you took.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah,
And then you
and
can just watch it as it goes.
yeah, and it just starts. It like just continues to add them like
That's
as
cool.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you click on the dashboard of any of them, it'll tell you like 1, 2, and 3 now. And it's like,
they may not have dashboard as an option unless you have the
oh
operator.
well, let's see
If you
if
click
this
on
dashboard works.
If you click on the tournament thing, I think it will just.
Does this link work for people? If you click that, what does it do? Nothing? Anything?
Yeah, it just does the GIF with the first, second, third. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean, that's what it does on the back end for that part. But then if I was on the other part of it, I think you can see it differently.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're logged in.
To where it'll show all of them.
Yeah, and it's a very cost effective app as well. Like you can see the tournament and follow along with the tournament. I think with the free login, or the free download. If you want to see your statistics, you have to jump into the, what do they call it? Like PPR Plus or something like that, which is like $1.99 a month, which is just not bad, especially because if you want to use an app to practice score, you could pay that $1.99, throw practice games at your venue or whatever, and score yourself, and so pretty cool app.
How do you see?
Did you guys like the duels and Big X stuff?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the
Okay,
kill
there
shot
you go.
thing, I definitely get it. There were definitely times in Big X. I think what I enjoyed the most was just if it was out of reach, be done.
Yes,
Like,
loved that.
I had a match, my match against Melissa Reed.
She was throwing fire.
She was. Game 2, I won the first game. We switched sides and just forgot how to throw.
Okay.
Boy.
Threw a bunch
smart.
of fours.
Yeah.
Got to a point where I was like, okay, am I 5 points down? I'm 5 points down. Okay, if I don't throw a 6 right here, we're just done. We're switching sides. It's gonna be 5 points.
Yep.
And I threw a 6 and she threw a 5, and it's 4 points. Okay, cool. So we're gonna throw kill shots now. Well, she missed her kill shot, and I hit the upper 2. And so so now it's a 2-point game. Okay,
Here we go.
I can tie it up at least. And I think she hit I think we both hit ones. And so she wins. So and then we switched, and I ended up winning game 3, but a very actual reverse scenario. Like it was very close, but I think it ended up being 4 points at the end, and it did come down to kill shots. But that left side was what did it for both of us. So.
Oh, and your placement throws, you were crushing the right side.
Yeah,
But then.
Yeah, and the seating throws, I could not hit that upper left bullseye.
No,
upper left. I couldn't hit the upper left 5. I'd hit the bottom one every time. It was just like, well, this is going to be awful. And then then I just figured it out. But I really did enjoy moving around the target. That constant movement. I mean, it can get very boring throwing at just the center all the time. And I think that there are a lot of throwers who can be very consistent having to throw at the same thing 5 times in a row, where I think it really does separate throwers when you are moving around, being able to control the implement you're throwing.
I agree. And we threw, there are a lot of questions about the tournament when I was at our league last night. And so I just went over, kind of what we're talking about right now. And a bunch of people started throwing a Big X in the pattern that we were using. And they're like, this is way more fun.
Yeah.
They enjoyed the challenge of
very much so.
Yeah, I definitely could see it being something that could be added.
Yeah. And why not?
To WATL. Yeah.
The dark background looks really good, Lucas.
What, this?
Yeah.
It's better than the white background, for sure.
Better than the white, yep.
Yeah. Well, this is what you can see if you click not run a tournament, but find a tournament.
You can also see, if you look at like the top of the box there, that dark black bar going across the top, you can see what I was talking about with the payouts. So
with the payouts.
Like, the percentages and the payout there.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that, and then it has a nice breakdown in this. So like if right now it was just starting to be final, and it, before Tyler and Justin played, it would already have John, Joe, Mark. It would have everybody below already listed here. and it would just be waiting to fill in for second and third. So it's kind of cool that it does it, live, and then you can go back and look and not have to scroll through the bracket to figure out what place you got or anything like that. It just tells you, nice and easy.
Love it.
And then I think also it does a good job of showing you the seating. In the same way, whereas like, WATL's standing page is always just whoever created a profile first.
Also from
Longest.
like an operator side, the bracket control page where you can see like you could see the lanes and who was playing on each lane, and then the box right next to it was literally the queue that you knew exactly
What game was gonna
exactly
call
what
next,
game
yeah.
was going to be called next, all the way through the through the end. And if there wasn't a name populated, it'd say TBD, but you knew who was on deck, and if you really wanted to announce like on deck stuff, you could announce that stuff ahead of time. Otherwise, like as soon as a game's done, it's auto pulling that queue into that empty lane, and whoever's
Yep.
button pushing or judging. In
They
the
just
space
knew
we
who
were
was
in,
next.
you didn't even need a microphone. They just would call the people, and you're good to go.
Easy peasy.
And then if you watch
But-
the live stream, you could see at the bottom, like we had the Scoreholio score overlays right there, and it was literally just on Lucas's cell phone. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it was.
you could just
it
have a
was
cell
very
phone for
easy to
every
add that.
lane and do that.
Well, I don't think that would really work.
In theory. There we go.
So I have one gripe about the Big X rules.
All right, I'm ready.
Are you ready? So, okay. I don't want to throw anybody on the bus here, all right? But one person I was playing against, and this person beat me at Big X.
It wasn't me. Okay. Good.
I threw a 5, and they threw a below the WATL scoring area 0
Mm-hmm.
for a 4.
But
For
yeah,
a 4.
they still got, but they got 4 points. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff to work out with trying to do that target. You see, like in the same way that didn't help you, it's kind of like if the other person dropped all 3 knives and you only got 1 point. It's like, yeah, that kind of sucked. But also, if you had thrown one of those, you'd be like, I only lost 2 points.
Yeah,
or
but
1
I
point.
didn't, so I don't like it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely not perfect. That's for sure. Definitely some things that could be, fixed with that. So,
But honestly, I did like that it almost forces the game to stay close.
Mhm.
And like you better hit your kills because you know your opponent's going to. That's just how it goes in tournaments.
for sure. But all right. Well, it's been fun. It's been over an hour. We're having some cat issues apparently, so I
Uh-oh.
gotta go
You are?
tend to that. Yeah. So I gotta go see what's going on. But appreciate everybody joining. Appreciate Joe for hopping on and Austin for hopping on
Well,
earlier.
real quick because we have Joe on. 2 questions.
Okay.
Let's see. You've got like what is that, like a olive drab shirt on?
Oh, it's like it's from Duluth. It's like
Okay.
a line.
Oh, okay. So there's some red there. What shoes you wearing with that?
I got my house slippers on, man. Yeah.
If you're
I'm
going
still-
out, what shoes are you wearing with that? Are they close?
my brown 3s. I got because this is
Brown
like
threes?
it's like a brown, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have like a 3-tone brown 3s.
And then
Good.
second question: what are you listening to this week?
Man,
Still
Okay.
Public Enemy, or
I just messaged you about this. And like, I might have had a couple too many glasses of wine one night, but man, I was like, dude, Public Enemy rocks. Like, I forgot how great they are, and I just like the whole hours straight. I'm way into Public Enemy right now.
nice, nice,
Yep.
cool. All right. Well, like Lucas said, thanks for joining us, and for all of you watching, still we appreciate it. What was the top 4 duels placements? Okay, we'll answer this one. Top 4 duels places for Rock and Roll City Rampage. 4th place was Good and Blasted which was Eric Rimblas and Hagen Gooden in fourth place.
Awesome name.
Third place was Brady Pennington and David Corley. Second place was the world champs Tyler and John. And first place was Lucas and Joe.
Boo.
Yeah, it was duels was interesting, doing it a little differently. Going for those outer ones made it a little exciting. We had some certain plays we were running. We were either running a single wide or a double wide.
Oh, we had a play
on the
mode.
lane.
Yep.
Yeah. So
if you
that
can't
was
go back and
interesting.
watch duels, but if you want to see what we were talking about, head over to our Facebook page, Throw Pros. You can check out the live stream finals or close to the finals for Hatchet, Knife, and Big X.
Shout out to Hagen. I think youngest person. He actually received a bid in every discipline for Worlds.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, is not going for Hatchet duels, but he and I did receive a bid.
Yeah.
Due to throwing together at that tournament. So he did receive a bid for every discipline, going for 4 out of the 5, which is very impressive because for those that don't know, he's got to be the youngest person to do that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, earned his first bid, which was knife duels in like month 3 of competing in tournaments. Got his Hatchet bid from and Big X bid from AmChamps and just throwing awesome on the leaderboard, essentially circuit points, and then finished and also got the duels bid from throwing with Lucas, and then earned his knife.
Basically got his
bid.
Big X bid that weekend too.
Yeah, because he finished third in that tournament, right, or second in that tournament.
Third
in that tournament. Yep, and then earned his knife bid from finishing second place in qualifying throws and just tore it up. So
congrats to him.
We're all screwed because he's starting
He's starting to like actually grow and stuff too. Like if you look at a picture of him from my tournament last year, which was the first thing he came to now, it's like, who's that guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, we're all screwed.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I'm hopping off. Appreciate everybody.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. See y'all.